Well, we are walking to Millard Beach on my secret path. And I can't disclose where I park because I park for free here. And sometimes I have a beer, sometimes I don't at this bar. But I always take this path through some really cool houses that I think everybody would kill for. To have a year-round house, a lot of these were built like that little one for seasonal living, but hell, it's bigger than some of the homes we grew up with in Dalton. So to be 2 blocks from the beach, these really quaint backyards. Look how cool that is. A lot of these people are artists, or they might as well be. That lady's got to be one. I mean, look at what she's put in the back. It's so cool. And these are townhomes in Wood. I always cut through this area. It's going to probably be a good 5-7 minute walk, probably 10 minutes. I may just probably make a video of walking up there, maybe another one at the beach. But I want to show you guys the sign. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Okay. Please leave your address so my dog can poop on your lawn. That is so classic. Okay. Now, I've not been anywhere in Northwest Indiana. You guys know I live in South Holland, so I haven't been out here, and I hear a generator. You hear that? I don't think everybody's got power yet around here in Millard Beach. That's definitely a generator. Big one too. So I don't know who has power and who doesn't. You might hear me breathing heavy a little bit. I'm in pretty good shape, but this is going straight up here. See, it slopes down. I can handle it, but if you're not in shape, you probably don't want to take this walk I'm taking here. It's not even that bad. There's some down trees. God, I don't know how long it's going to take before all these get picked up. It's going to be a long time. Look at that big ass one. Holy shit. Look at this shit. Holy F. Oh my god. Woo. That's an old growth sucker there. I bet you that's 100 years old. This is an old neighborhood. Wow. It was there at least as long as that house, and that house looks like it's about 1930s, maybe. Another one. I gotta cross the street. For sale by owner. Maybe a good time to get out of here, huh? Somebody's got plywood still on their window from the storms. Good idea. They didn't take it down yet. Maybe they think there's another one coming. I'm walking in the middle of the street with a phone. So it's probably weird. Who cares? Not really too bad around here. I like these little ranch houses. I would really like to live in one of these little ones. It's quaint. It's all the room you need. There's another generator going. See, they don't have the power on yet. So it could be worse around here. See, that tree's still there. That tree's not. Yeah, I'm approaching my favorite part, going down this hill and up the hill when I come back from the beach. Because these houses are really, really nice. These are the biggies. And not even the biggest of the biggies. These are old biggies. Like the 40s and stuff. So you go 2 or 3 blocks away from here and you get some big, new, like you might want to throw up kind of big houses around here. But these are very organic and livable. These are some of the smaller ones in the area. Nothing overwhelming. But not that far away you get the mansions. This is like the very end of the modest houses, which would be really cool to live on. There's a big one. It doesn't look too bad here. We'll see how the beach is in my other video I'll put up. But I'm going to end this when I get to the end of this downhill. I got to walk up this sucker on the way back. This is the easy way going down. So I'm doing this on Sunday night, the weekend of the shrimp boil. I haven't been here all summer. Usually I come here a lot, but I just haven't had a chance to come out here. These get a little bigger right on the beach. But look how cool some of the more modest ones are. I mean, what a place to live year round. Really. Not everybody's an artist, and it's not, I'm not going to stereotype it, but people that aren't have those sensibilities or just like to live around artists. And there's some straight out artists, Beverly Shore kind of people. They're born and bred artists. They have sculptures and wind chimes and all the other shit that they make, you know. This is a really nice one they did built a couple years ago with that dog barking. Yeah, I could walk down here and show you guys the big one, but I gotta get to the beach because it's dusk. I don't want to wait too long. This lady, I think it's a lady, has some really cool stuff on her mailbox. Isn't that cool? She puts flowers on there. And you know you're in an art community when somebody puts flowers on their mailbox. And then look at her shed. Is she in the flowers or what? Sunflower motif on her shed. That is so cool. I love it. And we'll be passing some people, some locals. I'm sure they're hardcore locals at this point, walking around here with the dog barking. So, beautiful. Dalmatian. Hi. Hi, how are you? Did you guys get your power back?
Do I have power? No. Do you have power?
Well, I'm from out of here.
Do you know anybody who does?
Pardon me?
Do you know anybody who does?
No, I know people with generators, but not connected to Nipsco.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
How is this guy doing? Or lady?
She's good.
Are you doing good?
For a swim.
And what is your name?
Her name's Zoe.
Zoe. Oh, how nice. What a beautiful.
Throw the ball.
Okay. Wow. Like an acrobat or something. Okay.
I think the soonest is probably Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I hear, next week sometime. Well, maybe earlier. Maybe you'll look out maybe Monday or Tuesday tomorrow. You never know. I think they're just trying to make people not feel bad, you know, but you'll get it. We'll never forget it. It could be worse, right? Have a good one, you too. Okay. A conversation with the locals. Oh, a lot of trees down around here too. Okay. All down trees, all up and down here. I don't know where they came from. Probably this person's lot. Or kind of around there. They didn't have a place to put it. This is my secret here. This is my shoe tree I've been using for about 20 years, I think. When I come here, I take my shoes off right here because I don't like walking with my shoes in my hand. I like to have them loose, not just to use the phone. But it's kind of nice to walk barefoot on the beach. Nobody ever finds these. Who the F is going to want any old shoes? I've got rattly old shoes to begin with. Who's going to want somebody's stinky old gym shoes? So I put them there and nobody ever does a damn thing with it. See how big some of those are? You see the back of the trees there? There's some biggies. They start getting big around there. And that one too. That's kind of a new one. Yep. Oh, and that one too. That's a beautiful one. Those are mansions, definitely. They kind of go from one extreme to the other. They got these little ranchy houses, like in Dalton, we grew up in, and then they have the mansions. They're kind of pretty much right next to each other, and the really biggie ones, obviously, are right on the lake. So, oh well, I'll just make this a really long video, I guess. I don't even know how long YouTube lets you do this, but we're only about 10 minutes in. That shrimp whale video is 20. So I guess I'll just keep walking Okay, so my shoes are off. They're on the shoe tree, under the shoe tree. Oh, there's not a lot of people here, but some. Look at that beautiful sunset. Wow, this is why I come here. I can get some still pictures to kill for, and then I put them on my little backdrop of my phone. People wonder, where did you get those? It's not hard to take a bad picture at Miller Beach at dusk. And they always come at this time too. Partly because it's easy to find parking, partly because you get some really good dusky pictures on both sides. See the steel mills down there? And then there's some down there. We're right in between the steel mills because the wisdom of the people from Beverly Shores was that they struck a pact with Northwest Indiana that they would block this off. We could have easily been standing right next to a mill and not be here. They didn't do that in the 1920s, and it was part of the South Shore. People who promoted the South Shore, and this was part of a major destination to go to the beach with your parasols and umbrellas and stuff, and take the South Shore train back when hardly anybody drove. Hell, the car was just invented like 20 years before that. There were no roads. Look at that cloud. Isn't that beautiful? That is really incredible. Now it looks like there's a lot of people here, but those are the only people on the beach here. All the rest of it's dead. There's nobody else here. There's a Hispanic family. I can hear them speaking Spanish. But anyway, all right. Now we're going to take a walk. I have it all myself. I thought I would. Not like I wanted to or not. Okay. Bye, only family on the beach. There's another one way down by where it turns into Wells, where the concession stand. And that's probably half a mile down there. So once I get past the folks here, there's going to be nothing but seagulls and driftwood. Pretty much. Yeah, look at all the grass that always just grows right through the dunes. I don't know how it does, but grass finds its own thing, doesn't it? It gets whatever it needs, even in grassy grounds. Like weeds, it's gonna find its way to grow. Now, let's walk right in the lake. As soon as I think I can't come up with anything to say, I don't mean to bore everybody. And there's really nobody to look at. I have another Miller Beach video I'll post I did 2 years ago when it was real crowded here on a Sunday. And it was fun. We only saw that lady with the dog and this family, but there were so many people walking past. And I'll have to post that too. That's the people one I have. This is definitely not a people one. This is gonna be nobody's here. There's a few people. Somebody's walking onto the beach ahead, probably local. You know, people don't have power around here. It's just like in the 1930s and 40s when people didn't have power in the city. South Chicago, where probably 90% of our relatives came from. If it was hot and there was no power, go outside, go on the roof, take a walk, go to the park, go to the beach. That's pretty much it. Or a swelter inside your house. With your hand fans. Some homes didn't even have electricity for little fans, the circular fans. Never mind the window units that weren't even invented yet. So anyway, I always turn around again every little bit because it looks different every time I go another 500 feet every direction. Isn't that cool? Everybody loves water. Lake Michigan isn't even a lake, it's a sea, an inland sea with its own weather pattern. And it affects the temperature and the precipitation in Chicago all the time. It's big enough to create its own. And, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit because I'm tired of talking and I can't think of much. So I'll chatter again in maybe a minute or two. I'll let you hear the waves. Roasted. Remember that Gordon Lightfoot? You must be old if you do. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. Ah, barefoot track. Somebody's been here. Some humanoid. Probably earlier today. It's more fun to make barefoot tracks than the gym shoe tracks. Are you guys locals without power, Pulte? Hi. You have no power?
No power.
No power.
Where are you guys from back here?
Yeah.
Right up there.
Oh, geez.
How about you?
No, but Nipsco says that Thursday is kind of the date for sure. Whatever window that is, I don't know, but I'm hoping that they're conservative and that maybe it comes back on Tuesday or something.
That'd be only a week off, so.
Well, we get to
All those rate hikes that they give us, do you think they put some money aside for a little more on infrastructure so this didn't happen? They could keep charging us.
Well, that's true. That's true. But maybe we can be like the Amish for a week or something like that. Go back.
I wish it would happen more like in spring, though.
Yeah, that was, I guess nothing's ever ideal, but you know, I guess we can go back to the hippie 70s. Remember that movement when everybody wanted to get back to nature? But then again, when nature forces you to do it, it's not as much fun as making that decision.
And it's not horrible. We're lucky. I mean, other people might be pretty horrible, but it's not horrible.
No.
Right on the lakes, I think you get.
But at least you guys didn't have damage or anything, right? With the trees? No? Or you guys lost your tree?
For the past week is clear.
Oh, you've had a lot of debris?
Just the yard, not the house.
Not the house, but I mean, our debris is clearing.
We're not anywhere close to done yet.
Oh, no.
Were the old growth, old ones that you guys
all
lost?
The way. Everybody.
Because everything is old
There's
growth
one
out
on
here.
The streets.
Yeah.
They're all over on houses. It just, the one on Vermilion and Lakeshore just got cleared and lifted off with a crane today. It's that kind of stuff. You can't just cut it down. It has to be lifted with a crane.
Yeah, and then you have to either bring it to another forest preserve or cut it down with a chainsaw. Because you're not going to get that in a chipper when they're like...
Oh, no.
No.
That's not chipper material by any means.
It's crazy. Where are you at? What are you...
Not too far away. Out a little farther back over there. More like by the houses, the regular little houses, you know,
Our
not,
house is a
not the big
regular
ones here.
house. It just got lucky to be built in 1942. Wasn't it a great big thing to have a big house?
Oh, yeah, in those days, it was a different world back then. But
yeah.
hey, you guys are really tight-knit here anyways. Everybody, look, if somebody's come with a golf cart, everybody kind of sticks together.
Everybody, yeah, and it's just, I mean, it doesn't matter, you know, we've been here forever. We grew up down here, so we're here. But we lived down the street for 12 years before that. I grew up in the community over in Etna. I mean, we just never left.
Right.
How about yourself?
All my life, kind of, pretty much. Yeah.
You're here?
You know, except for Texas and Austin for a while.
What's your last name?
Kuzminski. Polish.
Pardon me?
Polish name, Kuzminski.
I know Kaminsky.
There's a lot of Kaminsky. We're probably related to them too, you know, but
we couldn't put that extra S in. So where are you at here in the community?
Right, not too far, in the back over here. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not really something I think that I'm going to worry about because we're going to move on from this, you know. And we've been, this community is here a lot longer than we've been here. You know, it was an artist community in the 1920s and 30s.
Yeah, my grandparents met in Etna in late 1900. Got married and lived in Gary and stayed there until my uncle died in a house in 1997. My parents stayed in Etna and then we were here. So we've been here for like eons.
And everything was completely different because Gary and Southwark was booming, and then Maryville was just starting. You know, so everything.
Maryville was nothing.
It was,
we were like in high school.
If you even want to say it was just starting, because Glen Park was the neighborhood, you know, or other areas.
Yep.
You know, that was the happening off of Broadway.
There wasn't basically anything south of 6.
Right, that was the demarcation, or Ridge Road, kind of that.
Yeah, Ridge Road.
Well, it's
yeah.
the same thing, yeah, right. I mean,
The ridge, it was actually the ridge of the glaciers.
and then T-Bulls was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
if
it
you-
was.
And you thought
Right.
it was so cool. We
Well,
thought it was so cool. to
well,
go
they had
there.
like a motor court for a hotel back
Yeah.
then, and people don't remember, or little breakfast nooks and donut places and stuff like that. So it was very, very
There was a
quaint.
restaurant at the corner of 20 and County Line called The Flame.
Oh,
That was before my time. Well, I vaguely remember the name.
yeah, I like when you look at those.
It burned down.
Well, they have these books.
name.
Those books. They have those paperback books,
Uh-huh.
and then they focus on like certain neighborhoods.
It's
those
fun to read, though.
I forget what those are, but they have.
Nobody
all-
a
knows what
bunch
you're
of
reading.
them.
There's the different communities
I know.
or towns. There are a lot. of
Those I
fun.
like.
Pardon?
Those I like. 'Cause
I
you can-
just, I got.
It's the only.
some of
Go
it
ahead.
was by
Those
you.
are the only ones I can find old pictures of all those things. Other than maybe one of the county fairs where guys are selling like those old pictures.
There's
Or
other
like in
things I can
Highland, there was
use.
a guy
we
doing
have
that.
dozens of those going back to the 20s. And moving on further than that, and my uncle, who remained in his parents' house, so after my grandmother died, he stayed there until he passed away in the house, and that was 1997. But before that, they bought that house in 1913
Oh.
in Horse Man. It was beautiful. I thought it was a beautiful big house, and I went in it, when I was older, just before we were selling it after my uncle passed. And I thought, it wasn't as big as I thought it was when
Nothing's
I was a kid.
ever
I thought
as
it
big
was
as we
huge,
thought.
but it was still lovely. And,
Yeah.
everything was done in oak, very.
The stuff you'd never see now. It's just
No.
like too much heirloom kind of stuff
And
that
I
isn't
hate
even
to see
thought
all
of in
those
new
old-
construction.
Pardon me?
It's just not even thought of, all those little details and
Yeah.
cornices and all that kind of stuff. That's bespoke, that's long
It's
gone. So
gone.
if you can get an old one and restore it with some of the original ones, even if it's not 100%, you might have to, put some varnish here and there and sand a few things down. But
Our house was built in 42, and somewhere along the way, we just gave up.
yeah,
It was a great house, and it's an old house.
yeah.
We replaced some of the windows, but not all. We were one of the few houses around here for a long time. But it's the other part of that is how much energy do you have? There were so many things we had to fix, so we bought it from the original owner's son after they had passed away.
Well, it's kind of like George Washington's axe. When you replace the handle and the blade, there's not much left. So you
No,
want to
it's
keep
not
some
the
things
original.
original,
You
right?
might look at what the original looked like, but it's not the original.
Right.
Well, a lot of, and they did some adding on. She was the daughter of and part of Gordon's department store in here. So they some of the things they did with like the best in the day, and some of the things they just said, we're gonna scrimp on it. It was funny the combinations they choose, but.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they kind of made do with what they had.
Well, no, they would do some expensive things like that. Things. Well, that's not
It was a hodgepodge.
this
You mean
is.
like a hodgepodge or whatever?
No, not really a hodgepodge.
Not really
it
that.
was, I think, definitive. No, you have to do the oak trim here and the big white planks here and there. But
It was pretty hard to get materials because World War II
they
started.
just started. In fact,
Oh.
a neighbor told me they stopped to talk to the owner. We bought the house with them after they had died, and I met her once.
Oh,
But the owner, one of the neighbors said she stopped by, and they were just casual talking. She said, Margie said to me that they were really lucky to get in when they did. They had just finished putting in their toilet, and if they hadn't gotten it when they did, World War II was starting. They wouldn't have had a toilet.
well, it's just like pennies in those days were made out of different things for like
Yeah.
3 years. And then you had the scrap drives, the war drives and all that kind of stuff. So people had to be resourceful. This is kind of how it is now. Look at how people all during World War II
And everybody
survived. So we're gonna
And
survive.
everybody does just fine.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why like Miller, everybody kind of does their own thing. It's a little bit funky and a little.
Well, you know what I
different.
was thinking? And what is your names again?
Negan, I'm Negan, and this is Chris.
Okay, Megan and Chris, nice meeting you. I was thinking as soon as I came down here, thank God that they saved this, because it could have easily been another mill when they were fighting for this.
Yeah, and you just have
You
to
know,
watch for it because it could still.
It could always happen again.
anything
you know,
else could be turned in.
It's always coveted,
my
you're right.
grandmother and my parents talked about how much they bought these steel mills and how angry they
I know.
were because they secretly brought the property
Oh, there were a lot of things we'll never hear about the guy Gary, you know, and all the rest of them. I forget his name.
I forget. I think
Starts with an E or something. Elwood, one of those weird names.
But they were not necessarily good people. They helped get things
They were
started.
robber barons, let's face it. But at the same time, I'm not against robber barons, but they came in here to expropriate, you know, whatever they could. And, you know, they had the lake for the discharge and stuff like that, just like BP and Whiting. They got what they wanted, but it certainly wasn't for the people.
No.
And then it was the handful of, well, more than the handful, but it was the people just like the South Shore line people that made the posters in the 20s. You know how they may have the new ones in the last 20 years, and then the guy that's died that was, you know, one of the...
Mark.
Right, Mark.
Markowitz.
Mark just
No,
passed
it wasn't
2
Mark
months ago.
Markowitz, it was.
He died 2 months ago.
I can't remember his first name right
No,
now.
you know who it is. That's
Yeah.
that guy, the Serbian guy. And
He's
so
a really good guy.
I know, and then he made some of the best ones, and he started
Well,
it.
he used to be the conductor of the South
I know he
Shore
was.
Cinema.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
when I took the train up to.
It's just amazing the talent people have you never would think of, and then all of a sudden it just flowered, you know, when he decided he
Well,
was
and
going
I
to
think
paint.
most of the
Well, his
people
dad
here
was a
are
painter,
happy
though.
to be here, and everybody's a little bit funky and different. And
Right. I better let you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
know.
We were clearing so
No,
much
that's okay.
crap off
Right.
all over the yard,
I know.
front and back, and then clear a pathway to the dune, and then so we can get some stuff.
You'll be
back up
happier in a month. It's going to take about a
it's not
month.
bad. It could have been so much worse. The house wasn't damaged.
It's gratitude. Work with gratitude.
We're fine. You get a little downtime that you don't expect to get. You just sort of live with it and enjoy it.
Yeah,
You
work
have
with
to-
gratitude. God is good.
I'm sorry, first name again. Your first
Scott.
name. Scott. Nice to meet you.
We'll see you around. Okay. Bye,
Take
Megan.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, I'll wrap it up, but the reason I told them I was from here is because they're pretty insular around here, and I always like to let them think I'm from here, just to kind of go along with it. Partly because I wish I was from here, frankly, but I can get more out of them if they think I'm from here. You know, more interesting information. Then they'll open up, which she and he did, as you heard. But if I said I was from the south suburbs, it wouldn't have been like that. It would have still been nice, but see how they were like, oh my God, and how was yours? I came so close to asking me what street I was on. I don't know the streets around here enough to get away with that. I kind of tried to change the subject, and it worked. But anyway, people really are that nice around here. I wish I did live around here. But yeah, you heard the history. Boy, for you historians out there, you heard some pretty interesting things. I wasn't expecting to have a conversation like that, and I don't think they really cared that I recorded it, or I don't think they were paying attention to the phone because everyone's got one. But what a cool conversation to record, you know? So I never thought we'd get local take on the storm. Boy, did we. Plus I'm getting a nice walk on the beach. I told you, there might not be many people here, but the people we ran into, we don't talk to, except for that group of Mexican family. They were having a good time when I walked in. And I don't speak Spanish, so I probably wouldn't know her. But anyway, look at that sky. Is that not beautiful? What I think is really cool too is, remember Looney Tunes? have that character, and I don't know if that's supposed to be it. It's not Marvin the Martian, but it sure looks like something to me, and I don't think they mean for it to look like that. It just looks like it. It looks like a face, doesn't it? It looks totally like a face. Like one of those little blinking kind of creatures in the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes universe. But anyway, it's one of the many cool things you see around here. I mean, I can get so many good still shots. My secret, even though I do take still shots too, and I will on the way back, if I can just take still shots to the video, and it looks as good as an outright still shot. Look at that. Oh, that's gonna be one for sure right there. Is that cool or what? That looks like heaven or something. Maybe it is, I don't know. Maybe somebody died I don't know about. I hope it wasn't the Pope. But anyway, all right, let's see what else we got. Oh, you guys probably think I'm nuts for me telling them that I was a local, but nobody was the worse for it. Look at all the information I got out of that because I said it, right? All right, let's walk on the beach for a little bit. Yeah, for having nobody around here, we ended up doing pretty good talking to people, huh? So, I do have a video of this group of people at a campfire. They're probably in their 20s. And I asked them if I could film them, and they said, yeah. And then one of the chicks bends down, and pulls her pants down and shows her ass. I still have that video, but I don't think I could post it on Facebook. Or YouTube, I mean. I don't even know if they would even notice. Maybe I will, who knows. It's an adult crowd, but anyway, I thought that was interesting. I don't know if she was doing it to spite me, or just to have fun, or that she was loaded. And I don't know what reason anyone has to hike their pants down, but she did, and people get kind of goofy and have fun. I haven't seen anybody do that at the shrimp oil so far. I don't think that'll happen, but again, you never know. Maybe next year if they have another one. All right, some nice trees, as always. I'm just gonna go up to these people and start walking back. It's starting to get a little dark. I don't like walking when it's too dark, because then I came. One time I did it, and I waited until it was too dark, and I couldn't find my entrance, because I'm not like the super most cognizant person of where I left. And I probably should take a picture of the location, so that's the one that I use to get back onto the beach. I kind of just have a hunch and intuit where it is. But there was one time it got dark and I forgot. I'm like, oh shit, where am I gonna go? I don't know which one leads to what. And the one I used was like so far away from the one I showed you that I walked into. But that's the one time I had a chance to see all these giant mansions, and I didn't realize they were that big. I'm like, holy crap. These are some big, big houses, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? These are all good screenshot materials. I like that because you get a little bit of everything. See, on the left, you've got the ground. On the right, it's half water and half sky. So it's like a triad, like a painter's palette or something, right? A nice one of the two dinghies or boats. They're not really boats, but they are. They're sailboats. I guess you can call them dinghies too. I don't know what the hell a dinghy is. It's an interesting word, isn't it? What is a dinghy? I know what a dingbat is, but not a dinghy. But I guess it's a little boat without a sail or something like that. I don't know. I guess I'll walk up to these people and maybe say something. I'm so used to walking up to people and saying shit, so I hate to have to do it. I feel compelled to do it. It's just the kind of person I am, I guess. I guess I'm a 9 in an extroverted scale, but not a 10. I'll never be a 10. I don't want to be a 10. You would be obnoxious if you were that extroverted, and people wouldn't want to deal with you. You're like, hey, how you guys doing? What's up? What's this? You know? And I think people are more like stupid that are like that, you know? People that just don't have any filter either. You know, I'd never be like that. I can be discreet and quiet. That's why I'm always going to be an 8 or a 9 extrovert. I will never be a 10. So here's the debris. In the sun and the cloud. Hi, everybody. Well, you're on YouTube. What a handsome family to be on YouTube. Hi. Hi, how are you? Oh, how beautiful. Oh, this is going to be a long video. This is going to be like 40 minutes, I think. I don't think I ever took a 40-minute video. I know I never did. I hope YouTube lets you upload it. I know they have 2-hour, sometimes 10-hour things like seminars and conferences. They didn't used to. You used to have to cut it into pieces. I don't think they used to let you do it more than a half hour, but that's a zillion years ago in server space. It was more precious. Now, with these AI centers and racks, that's not an issue anymore. So, no. They'll let me post as long of the videos I make. I just don't know how long my phone's gonna be able to handle it. I got a lot of energy. I could probably do an hour, but there's no sense putting it that long. Look at all this gravel. I never noticed all that gravel here. It looks like it blew in from something. It's not gravel, it's just like pebbly. And sometimes it does get pebbly. There's some, that's not driftwood. That's from the storm. It just blew out. The tree was living on a tree not that long ago. See? So this was definitely a part of a tree that blew down there. And now we got stuck really in the sand deep. I don't know how that happened. Can you imagine the forest? Look how deep it is. Oh, I can pull it out of here. Now I got it out of here. Somebody eventually is going to get it. They have different priorities. That's not shit compared to the giant ones people have in front of their houses, like that lady, those two ladies we talked to. That's nothing. There's driftwood. Well, it's getting dark, so I'm just going to go to this piece of other branch, start making my way down, because it's already about 8 o'clock. Starts getting dark out earlier, unfortunately. But we'll wish it get dark out at 8 o'clock. About 3 or 4 months. We'll go back to our short days again. Right? Oh. A canine's been there. Average size. Middle size. It's not that tiny. Now, I was on a beach in Madeline Island in Lake Superior, just north of Bayfield, which is the most northern part of Wisconsin, even farther than the Paso Islands. It's way up there. And it's closer to Minnesota than it is anything else. And so I camped there 4 years ago. And I'm walking on a beach just like this in Lake Superior. And I see these bear tracks. But they're really beautiful bear tracks. I mean, if you see a bear track, and hardly anybody probably has ever seen a bear track in a beach. It's like perfect. I mean, it's like these perfect one circle, like Mickey Mouse here. These 4 little paws circles. They're really cool looking. So I told the lady, well, I asked the lady, I always say the lady, why am I saying the lady, but if it was a lady, somebody's wife, and I said, so what's with the bear tracks? She said, oh, there's a family of them, and there must be about 10 of them. They live in the island. So if you're camping, just make sure you don't have any food in your tent. Put it in your car, and it might make a noise. It might like that, you know, whatever. I don't know. It's probably the worst bear imitation you've ever heard. It sounds like Jim Gaffigan, doesn't it? His stand-ups. Anyway, I don't know what that sounded like. It sounded like Joanne Worley snorting and laughing more than a bear. But anyway, so I go to sleep in my tent, and I hear that snortle. Oh shit, there's a bear out there. And I'm thinking, thank you God I put the food in my car and I don't have shit inside here but me. And I hope it doesn't want to eat me, because I had to park. Of course, I camped right next to the not right next to the dumpster, but pretty close to a dumpster. Not knowing there were bears there, but I picked that out online, because you had to pick your camping sites online and order it in Michigan. That's how the state parks works. Anyway, so yeah, I heard it. I guess I can say I've never been scared so much in my life, but probably was more scared of bullies in high school or growing up. You know, when you're afraid they're coming and you're like, should I walk on the other side of the street? They're gonna beat me up. Oh no, you know. I was probably more scared from that than a bear. Or about equal. So, but anyway, you know how little kids are. You know, the neighborhood bully, and I was one for a while, and then they got bigger than me and stuff. But yeah, I think a bear definitely trumps any bully. They're not going to compare. So I'm going to go back. See all those people swimming. We're the only other people on the whole beach. There's nobody else. I'm going to turn around. That's it. The only people on the beach all the way. We're already at West. See, that opening is West. See where that opening is? That's where the concession stand is. I mean Wells. Sorry, Wells. Yeah. That everybody probably went to that one with the changing rooms and showers and stuff. And then there's a yacht. You can kind of see. A pretty big yacht. And then the steel mills and back. I'm going to start walking back. Oh man, do we have some stills, huh? Still potential to convert from this video. Look at that. Oh, that's going to be a good one. All right. And see, the colors look different on the phone than they do with your eyes, because the phone apertures have different filters, or they filter out or in different colors. So yeah, it really does look pretty with my eyes, but not quite as much as the camera's doing. The camera is making it look even nicer, and I don't even have any special settings. It's just that they're putting more blue in the sky than there is, and it's a little more prettier than it really looks. But believe me, it does look pretty with the naked eye too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, this is really nice. So anyway, I guess I've said as much as I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna take any pictures because I have still shots for days that I can make. I'll just pan around a little bit. These are all good still shots, so I can just capture and freeze with the video and then post. Or just enjoy the video. Okay, but I probably will do it for myself. Maybe I'll put a couple pictures online too. Okay, so anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Whoever's still around for 45 minutes. So how long has this been? Yeah, 44 minutes and 18 seconds. But anyway, I bet you a lot of people have never been to Miller and West Beach in ages, right? It's not a place everybody always goes to, but you should. Especially people who live in Northwest Indiana, and a lot of you guys do. How could you guys not come out here? I know a lot do, but probably most don't. Right here, take Ripley. Ripley South exit is closed, so you got to take the north. Oh, this looks like a bear track. Look at that. Look how cool that is. See that? That's a giant dog there. That's one big ass dog. That's what a bear track kind of looks like, but it's a little more symmetrical. But that sure almost looks like a bear. But that is one big ass dog, that's for sure. That's got to be a Great Dane or some shit. So anyway, or a Saint Bernard. Yeah, people have big dogs still. Not as popular as when we were growing up. People in Dalton, it was more popular to see those giant shaggy dogs and Great Danes. Schramm's had a big Great Dane that looked like a horse in University. I don't remember any. I do remember somebody that had a Saint Bernard on Woodlawn around 145th. It was so friendly. People would just, little kids would walk home from school and cut in the alley and pet it. And probably give it little lunch pieces and stuff like that, you know. But yeah. So anyway, I kept the conversation going for about the whole 45 minutes, but then we got the people, the locals, that told their stories too. Only two, those two ladies, and then that lady's husband, Megan, and I forgot he said his name, whatever their names were. So they'll never know that we fibbed a little bit, but see, we got so much more juice because of the fibbing, it was worth it. But again, they almost caught me when they asked me the address and they changed the subject. But then again, it was cool. We got back to it. Oh, can you see downtown from there? Can you guys see it? Yeah, there it is. It's downtown. That's cool. And you can see the Sears Tower is that left big one. On the right, in the middle, is the John Hancock. I can't make it any bigger. And on the farther right, left of that, is the Trump building, which looks bigger than the Hancock from here. You would think so. But that's just kind of how it is looking from here. Even though the Hancock's a little bit bigger. I don't know how that works. I don't know what the one on the far right is, unless that's the Hancock. I really don't know. But anyway, I don't think they had the air show. I think they called it off. I didn't go, obviously, because I'm here, but I have a feeling they didn't have it. I think they were expecting rain. Maybe they did, I don't know. I didn't see any jets flying overhead back to their airport like they usually do during the air shows, but whatever. Well, it's just light enough for me to find my place, my little shoe tree area around here. Not quite there yet. We're getting there. I still have about 700 feet to go. We're getting there. There's still mansions back there. Isn't that cool? How people get in there. And I don't know if they created it over the years or how it turned out like that that's the entrances. But somehow it did. They probably cleared it out. Somebody had to cut all that chunk between the grasses and the dune. Or maybe people walk on like trails so long that it just becomes an opening. I don't know, or both. So. Oh, I'm just doing a YouTube video. Hi. Hi. Seriously? Oh, sure. Thank you. I'll just take one, I promise. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. He said, have a beer. I said, yeah. Oh, how cool. Here? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I put your cigarettes back on.
You needed a beer.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't stop filming. This is the best thing.
How cool is that? They just got me a beer. See, this is why I want to live around here. People are just like so, I don't know. What would the word be? So simpatico? I told you, it's like the shrimp whale that attracts the most social people. You get the most social of the social people. It's like washing up on shore. It's like, okay, let's get the most social people in the entire area and mix it with the arty people, and we'll call it Miller Beach. You know, that's kind of how it is. So, yeah, I could use this beer. Nothing like the taste of Miller Lite. Good old-fashioned lager, like old style, right? Tastes like all the tappers that we drank before we were legal. When people have their backyard things. Before you were 21, anything tasted good. That was before the craft beer thing anyway. We didn't know any better. I think the fanciest beers were Heineken and Special Export, right? But these guys, that was typical. Let me take a sip. I guess they like me. Well, that was nice. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna make it to about an hour of this video. If anybody's watching me, I'm still drinking my beer that those guys gave me. I'm sure they live around here. They're just chilling. I had to take the cigarettes and lighter off to add that beer, but there was about 15 of them in there. They had plenty in there. And you know what happens when you get decimated by a storm, at least in this neighborhood? You get your friends together and you go swimming in the lake. You bring a couple coolers of whatever you got, and apparently they had a bunch of light Miller Lights, and you make the best of it. And that's what they did. That's why I'm still walking with the beer here. How cool is that? Wow. I didn't know this video was going to be so cool. I have no idea when I make these how they're going to turn out. I don't know. I kind of know how the shrimp whale one's going to turn out because I've been there so many times. Here we are. Okay, I see the shoe tree here. So this is our place. Bye-bye, Miller Beach. I'll have to see you soon again. Okay, so we're approaching the shoe tree again. I'm going to have to discard this before I get very far. Ooh, looks like a storm. Maybe I got out of here just in time. I hate to put my can by that tree. I don't want to be seen walking around with a beer around here. I wish I could find a garbage can. I'm trying to kill it. Oh, remember when we drank the whole thing at once? We used to call it shotgunning. Oh, I did that a couple times, but I'm a little too old to shotgun. There's that thing that looks like a Looney Tunes cartoon character with the eyes again. I don't think this is the shoe tree, but it might be. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't go far enough. I can't tell. No, I don't think this is it yet. Shit, or is it? No. No, it's not yet. Or is it? Shit, I can't tell. No, not yet. Not yet. I didn't go far enough. Now I didn't go. See, this is why I don't like to do this in the dark. It's really hard to remember. Oh, all I got to do is walk in there. I'll find it. I just have to walk through the houses and come back down again. So, all is not lost. But apparently it's the next one. I should have seen the sign said Vermilion on it. Well, I can tell you, if you move out here, if you ever have a chance, you'll have a lot of friends. People are so friendly around here. Very sweet, good people. Not that we don't have good people either, but I don't know, it's just kind of really unique. Like I said, it's a mixture of friendly people, artists, just chill people, people who like the water, people who like to paint. You know, all that stuff. Unfortunately, they just got hit by, let's face it, a disaster like all the rest of you guys in Northwest Indiana. You heard their stories. So far, you've heard that they're not going to get their power on. At least Nipsco told them till next Thursday. But they're not even sure about that. Or that we made fun about having to go back to like a little house in the prairie, but I don't think they thought that was too funny. So they took me kind of seriously, but it really is back to the Amish, sort of. And the Amish are very crafty and creative people. They don't need a whole lot to come up with stuff. They can get power off of running a car. They have to, because their religion and lifestyle allow them to be creative with their stuff. You know, as far as even taking rides from people. I forgot how that goes, but I just remember when I was on a Greyhound bus, they can take that, because we had Amish people get on several times on my cross-country trips many decades ago. I did it 4 times across the United States and 1 time to Alaska. All of them west. And yeah, every one of them just about. Amish people got on a certain point, because that's one thing that's allowed our motor coaches. That's cool for them. I don't think that's the one yet. I think it's the next one. We're close to the shoe tree anyway. Just enough light in the smoky dusk. This is smoky dusk. It's like kind of late in dusk. It's like almost night, but not quite. It's smoky dusk. So anyway, I think I should patent that. Maybe somebody might like that word, but I don't know if you guys are so bored. Anybody that's that bored would have tuned out a long ass time ago. Trust me. And I think those are the Mexicans that were there when we came out. So that must be where the shoe tree is. And they're still there. So I didn't realize how far I'd walked. I did walk pretty far. Well, I told you, you got to be in good shape, because you got to walk this whole beach. And then when you get out of here, you got to walk up and down the dunes and the streets. And you're not even finished once you get out of here, because then you got to walk way up that street that we walked down on. So it is what it is. I think there's one more. It's an Irish name, R Street, that we're looking for, and this isn't it yet. See, that's Union Street. That's not ours. But you know, I told you guys at night you can't find shit around here. So it's nice to walk at dusk and see the sunset and the reflections and the colors and all that stuff, which are kind of ending right now. But to find exactly where you came from, especially when you're looking for your shoes at the shoe tree, can be confusing. But I think it's where they are. Because remember, they were there when we came out. So it's got to be right there. We're approaching that Mexican group there. So anyway, yeah, that's it. So I took you through my whole walk. I didn't think I'd do that. And who is watching this? I don't know. I have no idea. And there won't be as many people as watch the shrimp oil one, but some people will like this. I'll like it because I'll watch this in the winter when I want to be reminded of the summer. So that'll be nice. Yep, we're getting close to the end here. So the problem is, when you take your shoes off, there's no little shower thing that they have at some places where you can kind of wash your feet. So you do get a lot of sand in your gym shoes. But I've got shitty old ones anyway. Really, at this point, it makes no difference. You know? Really, I mean, you know, I could put them in the dryer or washer, I guess, but I wouldn't even bother. After a couple of days, they end up leaving. I say they, referring to sand as if they're a person, I guess, but maybe sand is a plural person, I don't know. But anyway, so these are all locals, I'm sure, walking around here. having fun. Yeah, let's see where we're going. Oh, I know. Okay, shoot tree is coming up. Shoot tree is coming up. I'm glad I didn't carry my shoes because I wouldn't have been able to film this and hold the beer. So that wouldn't work. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting there. Here comes shoot tree. There's a boat in the distance. I got a kick out of that little girl. What are you doing? She was wondering what I was doing. So I'm making a video. And she says, oh, that's nice. So anyway, little kids are always curious. They always want to know what you're doing and what is this? What is that? So here we come. We're here. This is the shoe tree. And another Looney Tunes character. I know they're not that, but they sure remind me of those things in those cartoons. With the eyes, don't they? Marvin the Martian or some shit. Roadrunner. Okay. We're approaching shoe tree. But God, I wish I had a garbage can to put this can in. They used to have them all over the beach, but probably with the storm they get rid of them. So some local's going to have to get rid of this because I'm sure as hell I'm not going to walk around with this. Yep, we're here. We're here. Cool. Well, whoever you are, I'm sorry, God, that I'm putting this can by the shoe tree when I get my shoes. I sinned. It has been 10 years since my last confession, pre-Pope Leo. And please forgive me for putting this can of beer empty that I just drank the guy gave me to replace my shoes when I get the shoes out of here. That I'm sure nobody has taken or even seen since I put them here. Oh, here they are. So here's my can, goes there, and the shoes come out. Okay, we got our shoes. All right, end of video. Goodbye, everybody, as you hear the generators in the distance.